Back to that menu with the 6 buttons. And from there, you're just going to switch off between our faces and whatever. All right?
Yeah.
So it's good, right? Everything.
Yep.
Yep.
So, we ready?
Yep.
Welcome again to another episode of Yatta Debates. Oh, we just got done another one with Janan. That was a real deep and interesting one.
Yeah, that was totally unexpected, and it was a really great episode.
Because here on Yatta Debates, it's just like we go into a topic and then we start going down a rabbit hole, and then it just it gets, we start delving off. But here we have author Elijah Foreman. And it's weird calling him Elijah because, like, working with him, I always call him Mr. Foreman. And working in, like, the classroom setting, it's just, like, it's appropriate. Because we don't want the kids to hear us calling them Elijah. Yeah, it's, like, it's forbidden.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I know, like, this man, like, he's a hard worker, man. Like,
I'm trying, man.
Working to the school to working at, I know you're working for...
For Amerikey.
Yeah, for Amerikey.
Working with autistic adults.
As well as being an author.
Yes, sir.
And pushing out over 20 books.
25.
25 books. That's
25.
I think he got me beat right now. Like so yeah, and this is unique because we haven't really had an author on Yatta Debates.
Right.
And it's we don't really have too many authors that I know of, like, in this area. You know what I mean? So it's just like
it's about 5 of them that I know of.
And we talked a lot about this, like, it's like, oh yeah, so many rappers, that when you say that, like, you're an author, you stand out. That's unique.
Absolutely.
So, like, I want to, like, at first I want to get, like, a little bit of, like, your upbringing and then, like, coming on into being an author, because that's something that's powerful.
Man, well, for one, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey, Winder Ave, so I guess we would consider that the section. My mother was a school teacher. She ran a daycare center for like 17 years. She passed in 2010. But around the time where I got into writing, if y'all remember, like, there was a bunch of after-school programs out here at one point in time. You had, like, Weed and Seed, you had Get Set, and YMCA. I was a part of Weed and Seed. So, like, shout out to Greg Grant and Mr. Blitz. That was the staff back then. One day they had a guy from right over here, Mill Hill Playhouse, Nick and Selmo, I believe his last name was. He did a little workshop with us, and he told us that he was planning a trip to go to Princeton University, 3-day, 2-night trip to show kids how to write a stage play. Now, this is at a time where Tyler Perry is blowing up. He's not the guy that got the studio or whatever in Atlanta, but the Medea plays are popping up.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
So something just intrigued me. I'm like, all right, let's see what's up. Went out there, man. That was the trip of my life at that time. I was only like 9 years old. So they showed me how to write a play, how to format it, like, script it. 3 months later, they premiered it at the Mill Hill Playhouse. I didn't know they were going to do that.
Oh, wow.
So it's like 8 of us. They premiered it. We had 2 shows, standing on. Now, it's not like we was in front of 2,000 people. It was like 40, 50 people there. But for a 9-year-old to get a standing O on something you wrote, I got bit by the bug from there.
Yeah, that's inspiring. Like, especially at that age, your mind's like, but you like, yo, they fuck with me.
Yes, sir.
So
this was like 2001. I feel old, bro.
So
Don't say that because we're around the same age, and you're starting to make me feel like I'm like
side.
Like, come on now.
But
not that old either.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. That's where I started.
Yeah, the 2000s was a very pinnacle time for all of us.
I don't think we thought so at that age.
We didn't because we were introduced to a lot of things. We were exposed to a lot of things that aren't limited to the generations coming up now. Like with him saying the after school programs where I grew up, I used to get scholarships to go to Rutgers Prep for writing as well too. So I used to go there in the summertime, full summer, and just like go for just writing, learning how to write, reading different things. I was introduced to a lot of different things that I wouldn't have normally been introduced to in the regular public school system. So it's like now I'm looking forward to that with my kids because I have kids in the school system, in the public school system. So it's like,
So, but with that, you started off with plays originally?
That was the only play I wrote.
Yeah.
And that's really where it kicked off for me. I went back to school. I'm writing plays about my classmates. I'm creating characters. Teachers you don't like, I'm writing, creating crazy characters about them and stuff. But, from there it was quiet after that. That was elementary school. I'm still a kid. Now, had I been smart or I had somebody around me that was business minded at the time, I could have started off back then.
Oh yeah.
Could have been doing like children's books or something.
Of course.
By then, you know, I'd be 20 years in the game had I started then.
So going on into that journey, like, when did you like start first writing like your first book, like from beginning to end, like your complete work, and you were just like, okay, this is the one I'm going to put out to the world, or even if it wasn't the first one that you put out to the world, but the one that really like inspired
Kicked
you.
it off.
Yeah.
I think I was 16, 2008. There was a short story I wrote called Ghost Town that eventually became a book that I have out now on Amazon.
Can you give us a brief outline of Ghost Town?
Ghost Town is about a kid named Eric, who he's like the man of the house. It's him, his mother, his little sister. His father is incarcerated. And his little sister is 15. Eric's 18. She's dealing with a guy that's Eric's age. This guy's like 19. He's in the streets, into the gangs and stuff like that. So one day, this kid puts hands on Eric's little sister. You know, he hits on her or whatever. So when he finds out, he breaks this dude up, breaks his leg up and with a bat, like 3 or 4 different places or whatever. He thinks it's over. The retaliation comes where this kid that his sister's dating, his guardian is a cop. So he gets him locked up. He does 8.5 months. Before he goes in, some more retaliation comes where there's a shooting. And instead of the bullets hitting him, the bullets were meant for him. Bullets hit his cousin. His cousin is like ranked number 3 in the state for basketball. So some of this is a true story. I took bits and pieces of it from a true story. When he comes home after doing 8.5 months, the real retaliation comes. The retaliation that was meant for him in the beginning. He gets it on the day he gets home. And, you know, it's sad that it ends that way, but it's like a coming of age. Nothing different than like Boys in the Hood from the 90s or, you know, one of those. But we're still going through that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a narrative that, you know, we see even till like this day where people just caught up like in these situations, and it's like it's so relatable. I mean, even to the point like the 15-year-old dating like the 18-year-old, like that's real life. You know what I mean? And it's just,
and I got daughters, bro. So
yeah, so it's just like seeing that. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to like. I'm just like, I try to be objective about them. I'm just like, I don't know how you do it, like, but
it's hard, man. It's difficult. It's difficult.
So is that something that really like inspires your work? It's just like your everyday surroundings.
I try to make it as true as possible. Now, of course, you have I don't like to call them ratchet readers, but you got the ratchet readers out there. I got material for them too. But even with those, you know, crazy sounding titles, I always try to have a message inside the book.
Yeah, that's always important.
Yeah, so I try to make it as relatable to anybody who can read it. If you haven't been through it, you know somebody who's been through it. Yeah, you know.
So, what's the process of like writing a book, like really going through these things from like beginning to end? Because I'll tell you in my defense, like
I'm interested in.
Yeah, because like I'm gonna tell you, like I tried to write a book before, and it's just like, I have the story. I have the plot, but I have no story. I have no way to get there. Okay. I know the destination, but I don't know the journey. It's like, I got all the characters. I know this is going to happen here. It's going to happen here, but I can't get there. Like,
you can't get it on paper.
Yeah, I'll get there, and I'm just like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm good off this. So, what's that process like?
Man, when I first started, I was freestyling. I would just sit in front of the computer, and whatever came out that day came out. But after about 3 books of doing it that way, I'm like, yeah, it's working, but it's not really smart. Because if you forget it, you know, like one particular day, let's just say you decide not to write, but you forget whatever it was, that part of that story that you had that day, you didn't write it, you lose it, it's gone. So one of my mentors told me, he said, listen, man, you got to start outlining. It's going to be hard because the outlining is really the hardest part, believe it or not. Yeah. It's the longest part. Because now you got to map out every character. Yeah, you got to put down every characteristic. You got to give your character a walk, give your character a name, slang, the way the character talks. And then the way I do it, I tell you everything that's going to happen in every chapter. So if I got 20 chapters in a book, I'm putting pencil points, you know, like little dots on the paper, knocking out every detail. So it may take me 2 weeks to outline it, but it may take me a week to write it.
Oh damn! Like that, I never really expected like that. Like I always like imagined it like somebody just cram it down and just like typing words on paper at one point.
Oh yeah,
but,
you
like,
could do it that way too, but it's gonna take longer.
Yeah, and I think that might have been like the part that I struggled with because I tried to like I had all the ideas in my head, but I never really like mapped them out. Like
you could do it, man. If you could record an album, you can write a book. Come on, man.
I mean, like more recently, I would say like the only other one that I really did was like a poetry book, and like I had different ones, and I was just like, I'm not gonna keep all these separate. I'm like, fuck it, just put them all together. Like,
well, see, poetry's harder because with that you have to make it a book. So you can't just get 10 poems and say this is a book. Yeah. You're gonna have it at least 150 to maybe 200 poems. So
yeah, I got that.
That's gonna take a while.
I started doing the poetry because like I was like lacking direction for like the music. Like I knew that I was looking for like a new sound, but I couldn't really pinpoint what I was looking for. But I still wanted to write. I still wanted to keep my pen sharp. So like last year, close to the summer, I got like into poetry, and like previous to that, like I hated poetry because it just had no like flow or form to it. It was just like
but if you can write music, you write poetry.
You would think so, but it was just like when I first started doing it, like I hated it because like again, like I tried to I wanted to make my lyrics like thought provoking, so I tried to translate that into the poetry. Right. But I'm a real like flow and rhythm kind of person, so like me just like writing down the sentence, it was just like. Yeah, I get it, but they don't got that bounciness that I need.
Like I like writing poetry, like that's like my go-to. Like, but that I have to be like in my moods to write poetry. Like I can't just like write poetry. Like
I like some jazz playing in the background.
I gotta be in like a mood where I'm like, all right, here we go, and then I can knock like 3 poems, whatever.
But like,
so do you perform it or do you just?
No, I don't do anything with my writing yet. That's why. This is going to be an inspirational show for me as well too. Like I might take away from this, and you might see me writing something because I've always had like. The stalemate with my writing. Like I'll always I'll get into it, write them, push them out. People will be looking forward to my stuff, and then I'll just stop. I'll be like, oh no, I'm not gonna finish this. Like
writer's block.
Yep. And then I'm like, I'm done with it. Like I'm done. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna write. Like the last time I wrote was about 3 years ago. And I had a WordPress blog. I had followers. I had people waiting for the next, because on there you can just release chapters of like your story or whatever you're doing. And I had people like messaging me like, "Come on, when are you gonna finish it?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. Like I don't do it."
You got me intrigued now. I want to read some of the stuff.
And I mean for that, for someone like you who has 25 books out, you know that's like thousands of pages. Like hundreds of chapters on chapters. Like
yes, sir.
How do you do like that? That's impressive. Like I would just say like flat out like that is impressive. You know what I mean? Like how do you just like keep creating content? I think even from the time that I had just met you, I think you had released like 2 or 3 books in that time span.
Yeah, we met in what was that? 2017.
2017 at the end of 2017.
From then to now, I've put out about 9 books.
Yeah, so like.
Yeah, 9 to 10 books.
Yeah, so like, what is that? That's like 3 to 4 books a year. Like that. Like I said, that's impressive. It would take me a while. It take me like months to make like an album. But like for that, like I just really want to make sure like the pieces are in place. But I would say, I think it's harder to make books than an album. Like you know what I mean? Like. I don't
know, Yatta, because again, like as a writer, too. Like you think content is hard to come by, but if you have a really creative mind, like content is so easy to come by. Do you know how many stories I sit on a day, like on a daily basis that I sit on a day? Like something could just be, I'm like, wow, that's a story. There we go. I'm about to do that.
But this is the thing that I was talking about. Like again, to have like not just have like the ideas, but to consistently create that build up. It's just like.
It's kind of like what he was saying with outlining. Like once you start outlining the story, like you really can have a story out of like that was one thing I was taught, because like I said, when I did the records prep thing, like they really like beat into us like outlining, and then I took a lot of writing classes and things like that because I was really into it. And then also my best friend at the time, we were both writers, so she would write. We would compare writing. Sometimes we even would co-write. Like we would write stories together. Like we were writing and putting out stories of our own. Like we did playwriting stuff like that too. Like I used to have neighborhood kids perform plays and things like that. But like, if you have it in you, like I can't write music, like that's just something I just do not feel like I can do.
It's easy for me though. Like,
I can write a play. I can write different things like that because I know that I can do it. Like I can sit down and really write down a play, really write down like a story.
Well, if you break everything down, there's different elements to all this. Like even with your music, you're writing lyrics. You're not writing music. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not writing down the music notes or anything. like that.
No.
But even with that, I think that's much harder because with an artist, you really got to be in tune with whatever producer you're using.
Yeah.
Get those beats together and then be able to, you know, stay on track with those beats. That's a flow.
Yeah.
But
with books is hard, but nah, I don't
but
think so.
the story and everything like that,
so.
Yatta, and it's like once you get the story, it's like,
but like
you can keep flowing with it. Just like you said, rhythm and flow. Once you get the flow of the story, you get the flow. Like you're flowing with it, you're going with it. And if you have the ending in your mind, getting to the climax is nothing. Like,
but I
really
mean, even just like the process of it, it's just like, all right. So like, for me, I think the longest part that actually like takes with like the album is just like weeding out what I want and what I don't want on there, because as far as like actually making the song, like hook, bridge, chorus, verse, whatever you want to call it, like I can crack some of those out in like 15, 30 minutes. Like I'm just like, I'll have the idea and I'm just like, all right, yeah.
But
this
that's genius shit though. Like that's not normal.
Not everybody can do that, y'all. Like some people have to sit and like really like.
That's that 10,000 hours though.
I'm gonna tell you.
I did my 10,000 hours.
I watched a documentary recently. Well, I've seen this documentary 100 times, but it was about Death Row Records, and they were talking about how they made The Chronic, Dr. Dre's first album. Snoop Dogg said they would make a song, and they'd listen to that shit all day. One song. That's it. It wasn't until Tupac came in there, and this dude's bringing out 4, 5, 6 different records in 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
That we're like, they like, oh shit, okay, now this is how we're supposed to be working. When they was with Dre, one song, they playing it, they call the girls over, they having a party. How y'all like this song? If y'all like it, it's on the album. Pac is like, man, give me the beat. 20 minutes, he got all the lyrics, 3-4 verses or whatever. When that's done, he don't even listen to it. Scrap it, give me another beat. And in 4 hours, he got like 7 songs done.
And I mean, that's kind of how I work, like in the studio. Like I come there already prepared. Like I'm not in there for no bullshit. Like I come in there and I'm ready to work. Like engineers love me because it's just like
you gotta pay for that.
Yeah, like
that
you come ready. Like and I've always had that instilled in me. Like even before I was like paying for studio time. Like I always wanted to be prepared. I didn't want to go in there bullshitting. You know what I mean? Like we kind of talked about that. You know, like really maximizing your time and shit like that. Like
yeah, that has instilled this in me now.
Like not for real. Like I really wanted to say like I wanted to go there and get busy, like because I knew it was just it was recording, but I knew I was going to take things back and I listened to them like, all right, I want to add this here, I'm going to do this here.
Since you on the subject of that, I'm gonna say it now while we on air. It's too far for me to shake your hand, brother. But that remix you did on that Dreezy record, that
Close to You, yeah.
Man, listen. I cut that on and my girl was like, who that?
You know what's funny? I actually made that song around the video.
Okay.
Because it wasn't even on my mind, but the girl came up to me. She said, I want to be in the music video. And I was just like, all right.
The young lady that was in it?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just like, all right, well, I had to come up with something. And I was just like, she was just like, I didn't think you was really going to do it. I'm like, I already got I got the song recorded. I got the place booked. Like,
dope, man.
Yeah, so like, it was
dope, bro.
it was just like, it wasn't even like.
You hear this, guys? He made a whole song to some girl that just said she wants to be in a music video. Why is y'all a single, guys?
That's because like
that's dedication right there.
I
need to talk. Now you just made every guy who watched just got to step their game up. Y'all are making songs to girls that want to be in music videos. I got to step my game up. I can't impress these girls with liquor and weed no more. I got to make a whole music video now, a whole album dedicated to you, girl.
But I mean, like, but that was just like a testament, like about how I approached it and how I worked on it. But like, but again, like I said, I guess it's different strokes for different folks. Like books is easy, like writing books for you is like easy. Like I could craft them. No, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but like it just
comes easier to me.
Yeah, it comes more natural. Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew I was gonna be a rapper. Everybody wanted to be a rapper. Everybody.
I sent something to my cousin from like the shit that I was recording in 2011 because I said I put some shit. I'm just like, yo, I was trash back in the day. He gonna come back and say it sounds good for 2011.
Oh my god!
I'm like, nigga, that's good. It was. But no, like I was still in that process of like finding my sound. I think like it takes a while to like kind of get that. Like
Definitely.
until
That
like I
comes
was.
with fine tuning your craft. That's
Right.
anybody. Like
I think I was like
you
3
can't ask
projects
somebody
in.
who, if
That's
their
why I
work of art
definitely
is
will
good.
salute guys that are doing it now. Like, you know, my guy, he took a break recently. He just had another baby, his second child, but Dot Bullets.
Yeah.
Me and that man go 20 years back, man. The same school we work at, we used to run them hallways as kids. Fresh O Franklin.
Oh yeah.
Same dude. Same.
Yeah.
Man. We used to terrorize that school. We used to terrorize that school. So it's like, I'm proud of them, man, just to see the growth. Because I was there in 6th grade when they was saying, yo, we going to do this. And they be in the back of math classes writing little raps. They was shy, though. They ain't really want to say much to see where they at now.
Yeah, fact. I mean,
it's a dream, man. It's
I mean,
dope.
nobody thought I was gonna be like rapping going into school. Like it was just something that kind of like I just stumbled upon. I'm just like I'm pretty decent at this. Like
that's how it happens. That's how it happens. That's how I got into book writing.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't anything planned. You know, but I found the gift.
Yeah, but like that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, but like just the process of like outlining like and having that being able to like make a story, not just have ideas, but like make the story flow, have substance. That's hard. Like for 25 books in, like yeah, you could do it. You could do it for a book. You could do it for here, and like for it to be, you know, like a novel. Like you know, like if you're doing a how-to book, like all right, yeah, like it's a technical manual. Yeah, you're just gonna do that
step by step.
Yeah, but to have like the story, like that substance for 20 for real for 25 books. I think it's amazing.
To be honest with you, that is minor compared to some of my contemporaries. I know an author that's 60 books in, man.
Yeah, like come on,
60 books.
I'm on my first one.
I'm interested in how you go about the publishing, because getting it on the paper is one thing, but like publishing it and getting it out there, like
well, that's the dirty part of the game.
Yeah.
That's where I'm interested in. This is the part where I want to know about. Like,
is that easier now with Amazon publishing, or is it?
It's easier, but you still have to learn, you know, how to do certain things. You still got to learn the budgeting, you know, the editing, covers. You have to. With me personally, and a lot of people don't do it this way, but I do. I found 2 cover designers that I have a rapport with, that I vibe with. So every book, I don't go outside of those 2 cover designers, because it's like, you know my style, I know yours. So this is the title, this is the synopsis, bring something to me. In about a week, I have a cover.
Okay.
You know, but as far as the publishing goes, how many deals did I have before I went self-published? About 4. Had about 4 deals. And in those deals, you got to read that contract. You got to read that contract. And that's what I didn't do. I had a deal one time where I was only getting 10% of the money.
Oh, wow.
10%.
Grief.
But this publisher was selling bells and whistles about the connection she had and who she could get me in the room with. So me being naive, 22 years old, go ahead, take this contract.
And you just like, sign away.
Sign away. 6 months I was out of that contract.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like, I put a strike together. I gave her 3 books. 2 of them went up. I didn't know what date they was going to go up. I didn't have any promotional stuff together because I didn't know the release date. So I was stuck. Next thing I know, something would randomly be on Amazon, and like my cousin would call me like, yo, you know your book is on Amazon? No.
That's crazy.
And I would have to go up and then try to hurry up and promo some stuff. I got tired of that.
I feel you. I remember you was like, and you told me this consistently. You said the book grind is different than the music grind.
Absolutely.
Like, can you explain that like a little bit more in depth?
I mean, I'm not in the music business per se, but I can watch somebody like, for example, a Young M.A. Young M.A.'s rise is totally different than from a lot of people because she got big on singles. She just recently dropped the album. But on that album is 12 songs that she made videos for and put them on YouTube as singles. Got millions of views and got paid like that. And she was able to tour. Now with authors, when you go on the road, you got to get about 6 of us. And we'll have a book signing, let's just say for 12 different cities. Out of that, we might get maybe 1,500 a signing, 2,000 a signing, depending on how big your name is. For Young M.A., there is no telling how much money she can make as long as she can travel.
Yeah.
Because look at how big these YouTube numbers are.
Yeah, he's not lying.
You know what I mean? So that the music business is way, way easier to me.
Yeah.
But it's still a respect thing for me because I'm an artist too. So I respect y'all. But to me, the hard part with music is recording.
That's easy. That's easy.
It's not so much recording, but just finding the chemistry.
Got you.
With a producer.
Yeah.
Finding the right beats. That's why people love and hate Nas at the same time. They love Nas for his lyricism, but the beat picking that Nas be coming up with is like, bro, how did you rhyme on that? Like, you serious? Nas will pick anything and just kill it. But you know, when you have a producer that you really can grow a rapport with, you know, it'll show in the album.
Now, what about that as far as like, you know, theming yourself for books, like, you know, like really categorizing yourself as like what kind of author you want to be, like, all right, these are the kind of books that I want to be like, that I want to write, because in that sense,
I never did that.
No,
I never did that.
Limiting yourself, Yatta. We just talked about.
No, I'm just saying, because it's just like sometimes, like, do you think you can be as flexible in the book industry as you can be in like in the music?
It really depends on the person, because some people are not comfortable jumping out of that box. You got some people that write straight crime books. That's it. Or paranormal, thriller, anything. With me, I've written urban, I've written romance. Erotica has gotten me in trouble, but I've written erotica. And this summer, I'm getting ready to get into young adult. That's going to be the challenge. Because now you got to kind of dumb down the language as far as like the cursing and everything like that. So kids can read it.
Facts, yeah.
You know, I had a 13-year-old kid walk up to me. This was probably 2017, around the time we met. I was living in West Trenton at the time. And he ran up to me. He said, yo, you the writer, right? Elijah Foreman? I said, yeah. He said, yo, I just read one of your books yesterday, bro. And I'm like, yo, like, that's the one. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, how old are you? He said, I'm 13. You 13 and you read one of my books? I said, man, what book you read? Man, when he told me the title, bro, I don't know if you seen it on my page, but he read Make a Cream.
Yeah, I seen that one.
I said, you read what? I'm on my way to work at a school. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, my parent hat is on right now. I'm like, well, how did you get my book? Oh, I took my mom's Kindle from her room. You stole your mom's Kindle.
What she be reading?
And you read my stuff. Like, now I feel bad. So I went to work and I'm like, man, you know what? I got to come up with something. Took me like 3 years, but I got the idea.
And I mean, like, I guess like the point that I was like trying to get, like, could you see somebody like a J.K. Rowling going into something like crime, like you know what I mean, like, or start?
No,
like,
but that's her choice though. You know, if she challenged herself, she probably could. You know, you got to challenge yourself.
That's it. And I think like another point with that is just like with the attention span with like music and books is like it's way different.
Way different.
You know, like when you read a book, right? Like you're really invested in that. You know what I mean? Like you really sitting down and you taking time out your day to like really absorb this. And more so today, it's just like we don't see like a lot of music that can be absorbed. It's like they call it like microwave music. Like, you know, it's hot for 30 seconds and then
mumble rap.
Yeah, not even just mumble rap, but just like some of the content that's coming out. And then when somebody really does something that's like stand out, it does stick, and that's something that you can absorb. Like for me, like when I find a song that like I really like. Like, I'll listen to it all day and start picking at, like, why I really like this. I'm like, oh, they did this effect here. They put the snare just like they did this reverb right here. He said this. I'm just like, you start, like, you get invested in that way. But, like, with a book, it's like, you have to be invested. And it's like certain books that, like, I started and I'm just like, nah, I'm not with this bullshit. Like, like this, I'm not even going to even waste my time reading this shit. You know what I mean? Like, so, but when you, it's a different, it's a different investment when reading books. You know what I mean? Like, so, I think, and that's why I was asking, like, if you could be like more so flexible with it. So,
I really do think it depends on the person, and it depends on the reader. Because to me, if you can really challenge yourself, you can do anything.
You're right about that.
You can do anything. It's all about the challenge. And as a reader, there are so many readers that read the urban stuff, the street stuff, not realizing a lot of these authors are not really from what they're writing about.
Oh, wow.
So it's different when you get in front of an author that's from what they're writing about. They know it. They don't have to research. They don't have to jump on Google and find facts about the area they're writing about. They ride through that area every day.
That's crazy.
Know? So it's different. Now, with me personally, as a reader, I mainly read urban, but I could also jump into self-help. I can also jump into like autobiographical stuff. I see Tracy Syphax on the wall over there. That's one of my mentors.
Yeah.
So when he came out with his book, I got it signed at the house.
Oh, wow.
I read that book about 5 times. Just to know this person that I'm sitting across from and read some of the stuff that he dealt with 30, 40 years ago, and then see that person again in person, I had to shake his hand, give him a hug, because it's like, I didn't know none of this.
Oh, shit.
You know, I was a little kid when I met him. So to know the type of stuff he went through in the streets with, you know, the drugs and all that other stuff, to know where he's at now, $5-10 million in.
And I remember,
you know, that's inspiring.
I was looking at, I forgot which book it was, but I think you was like kind of sharing like a similar story with that, where it was the guy Emmanuel, and he was like coming out of the streets or coming out of jail, and then he linked up with his boy, like trying to get like some legit money, but then there was like some altercation there, and then Emmanuel ended up shooting homeboy. Like, so
that was a strange title. Once again, it's a title not for kids.
Trust me, I make, when I do the settings for these venues, I pick the not for kids one. I'm just like, don't fall gas to the YouTube kids.
Well, the title for that book was "Real Ones Deserve More Than Pussy," and where I got that title from was SZA. She had just came out with her album. And she had a song with Kendrick called Doves in the Wind. Yeah. And the first line she came out with on that song was real niggas do not deserve pussy. And then she started going into stuff that we deserve more than pussy. Like we deserve the world type stuff. So I'm like, when I get into a song like that, I start thinking of stuff. And I'm like, man, that might be a title. So I played it back like 3 or 4 times, and I said, you know what? I got it. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I just kept looking at it. And once you start looking at it, you start coming up with the characters, you start coming up with the storyline, and then it just becomes a book. So that particular book you're talking about, Emmanuel had just came home from prison. And he opened up a couple of laundromats. And his little sister took the laundromats over when he went back to prison. He got into some trouble again.
Oh, shit.
And she ran them for about 5 years while he was gone. And in that time when he was gone, she got into a relationship with somebody who was in prison with him. So when he came home, there was a discrepancy between these two people, these two guys. That's where the shooting came in that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, you know, I don't want to say it's a similar story, but we kind of seen that around here. I remember somebody was funneling some drug money into like 2 restaurants, and they unfortunately ended up closing. And I mean,
what restaurant, you remember?
Do I want to put them on blast right now?
Just saying,
I don't want to put them people business out there, but let's just say it's 2 spots that was on Warren Street that's no longer there, and one of them is a juice bar now.
So, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
all right, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to put them people's business out there. But that brings me to an interesting topic, and this is something that I'm kind of like, again, I'm delving off, but what's the best way to funnel drug money? Like, so you can make it clean. Like what's the best
There's
option?
no legitimate way.
No, I'm saying, like, do you go buy a money order, put the money order into your bank account, take the money order?
It's 2020, brother. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you gotta do like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the Cash App, to this, that, and the third. Get your uncle's offshore account.
This is not power, children, ladies and gentlemen. This is not power.
The real deal. You're going to jail.
This is what
federal prison. And fed prison is worse than regular prison.
This is what I would do. I would get
fed prison is way worse. It's not fun. It's horrible. They put you in undisclosed locations, far away from where you are. Like, you're not going into the same state. They might move you to Pennsylvania. They might move you somewhere else. Like, fed prison is different. It's a different jurisdiction. They don't come and get you when you get the money. They wait. They build their case. They wait. They build it up.
That's how Murder Inc. went under. A lot of people think it was 50 Cent. 50 Cent just capitalized off of the trouble they was already in because of their affiliation with Supreme McGriff in New York. they just swore up and down Irv Gotti was giving him money or, you know, trying to fund whatever he had going on and vice versa, when that wasn't the case. They was on trial for their life in a Fed case.
It gotta be some kind of way.
There's no way.
It gotta, like,
all right, so
I give you 10 racks. And
the government's gonna come to me and ask me, what did you do to acquire $10,000? They're not gonna just easily just like put $10,000 in your account. They're gonna be like, where did you get it from? You don't work enough hours to make this money. We're seizing this. Now it's our money. Like, if I go right now into my backyard and go dig a hole and oil just starts shooting out, that's not my house anymore. They confiscated it. It's theirs. Like, this is government property.
Uncle Sam want a piece of that.
What if I did something like
but if it's drugs,
did it in increments. Like, all right, I deposit like $100 in the ATM this day.
They're gonna watch that. They're gonna be like, all right, Yatta has deposited $100 within the last 3 days.
No, not every day, of course. Like, I'm not.
You go to different ATM locations. I'm telling you, like, once they get the wind, they catch wind of you doing something, they're on your ass. They're watching you.
For the record, people, I do not sell drugs. I just want to put that in the air. I'm just thinking of creative ideas.
And I'm just letting y'all know from experience, from watching people, like, I am a non-discriminating person, so I hang out with everybody of all different walks of life. You get caught no matter what. Whether you sell drugs, whether you do bank scamming, whether you do credit card popping, whatever, you get caught in the end because they let you enjoy the high. They let you enjoy the ride because they want to pin as much, when it comes to federal stuff, they want to pin as much time and have as much evidence because they don't want it to be without any doubt. Whereas regular stuff, like if you get caught with mad weed, that's it, you're going down. Like you can, but you could fight that. You're like, I'm a drug addict, like that's it, and they put you in rehab. But if you get caught doing something you're not supposed to do, that's federally, that's it. You're fighting for your life. Yeah. Like they're coming for your life.
Drug dealers.
Everything. They're taking everything. Even if you bought the house for your mom and her name or whatever, the fact that you use drug money to buy the house is gone. It's gone.
Over.
Drug dealers, give me your money. Let me put it in the stock market. I'm gonna buy some Amazon stock.
Kids of today,
they think it's glamorous. It's not.
They watch these movies. Listen, man, Paid in Full was in the '80s. Children, it was different.
Yeah.
It was different in '87 and '88.
So in that sense, like, is the streets dead in that sense? Like, you can't.
But
I mean, you can't.
It's just a different time.
You can't pedal like that anymore.
Like, gang beef is now on Facebook. Like, you can have gang beef on Facebook. I actually witnessed 2 guys getting into an altercation. The guy on Facebook, and the guy drove over to the other guy's house and shot him. This was all happening on Facebook. Like, drove over to the guy's house, shot him. This was somewhere like, I think in like Tennessee or something like that. But I seen it go down on Facebook, like on the status where they was arguing. He's like, meet me, I'm at your house, on the status, and then 2 minutes later he like, yo, I just shot this nigga. Like, what?
Right.
What? And then I seen the news report, like, it was a real thing. Like, these are real people. People get online and think, oh, these are not real people. I can just say whatever I want to people, and then real consequences happen behind this stuff.
And that's a universal thing, because that's what social media has done. Social media has created a lot of tough guys.
Yeah.
That would never
be
that way in person without social media. Same thing with books. Like, I've been to events before where I've seen 2 authors who I watched beef for about a year on Facebook. And they'll tell you everything they're going to do to you. But the minute I see you face to face, it's a handshake and a hug and let's take a picture.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, like,
it's all good. It's all good, the black world today.
I came here armed and ready, and you just was like, hey, what's going on? Let's hug time. Like,
let's talk about private black businesses.
But here's the thing, what a lot of people don't realize with that social media stuff, and I'm going to just try to tie it in with books, a lot of authors just came from behind that wall. So they're wired differently. You're not going to say what you want to say to certain people who just dealt with having to fight every day for like a $2, butterscotch crimpet.
It's the truth.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to say what you want to say to somebody like that. So you keep talking tough. You never know who might be on your porch.
I can't do jail, bro. Like, it's not happening for me.
As a person who has personally been victimized by the American legal system, I'm going to just say this. If you ain't built for that life, don't do it.
You got caught with drugs.
I did not get caught with drugs. I got, let's just say, my story's out there. I got an assault charge. I beat it. I don't have a record. But at the end of the day, I had to go to jail. I went to the Mercer County workhouse. I was in there. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, that's why I tell people, like, the legal, it's not fun. It's whack. It's whack. Going to jail is whack. And anybody who keeps going to jail, they like it there. There's a system there built for them. That's their lifestyle. But I'm not going to condemn them for that. But that wasn't for me. I went to jail that time, and it was over for me. I didn't want to go back. I wanted to make sure to do everything I can to stay out of there. Now, like, even altercation-wise, that's why I said, like, that's why I'm so chill. Because it's like, I know that if I fight somebody now as an adult, I'm not going to get suspended from school. I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
I'm going to jail.
But even if you do that in school, if you go to the high right now, they got police. Like, they got security
now it's different
guards.
now. It's different now. Because when I was in high school, we started transitioning into that where we was getting into, like, the security, walking through the security checkpoints and things like that.
Yeah.
We were transitioning into that because we were, you know, before that, we used to just walk right into school. But then, like, as I started seeing, like, more people were getting introduced to, like, the gang lifestyle. Because I'm not going to lie, I was in the 2nd grade when I heard about gangs. I heard about the Bloods and the Crips. I was in the 2nd grade. Now think about that. My daughter right now is in the 2nd grade. I was in the 2nd grade when I heard about gangs. At that time, I was interested in coloring, drawing, writing, and doing other little kid stuff. I was a little kid. That's what I allow my kids to be. I'm not saying that because my kids also are exposed to different lifestyles because I lived in Trenton for the majority of the beginning of my kids' life. I live in Ewing now. It's a different lifestyle change for my kids. It was transitioning from going to Trenton Public Schools to Ewing Public Schools. My daughter says it was like a night and day for her.
Absolutely.
When she went to Trenton schools, I couldn't go into her school like how I go into Ewing schools. Now I couldn't just walk into her school and be like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up." No, I had to go to a security guard, drop everything, drop my keys, take my picture, do all this, walk through. I think one time she went to school, the school was gated up. Like her school, you could walk right in, like it's very, it's a very different thing. Like
it's situations like
an institution.
It's situations like when I was working at Grant, like I guess one of the dudes that the girl was talking to, he came up there like looking for I guess to start something. You know what I mean? So it's situations now like that we do gotta look out for. So it's just like, all right, why are you here? What do you need? You know, who you here to see?
But then that's the environment. That's the environment. It all ties into the environment around the school, like. And you got to think about it. More inner city and urban schools are like that. They're not. You don't go to a school in the hood, in any hood. I don't care where it is, whether it's here in New Jersey, New York, whatever. It's different from if you go to a school in Long Island, in upstate New York, in Pennsylvania. I told you, I went to school out here, and I went to school in the Poconos. The school in the Poconos was way different than when I went to school out here in Jersey. I didn't go to an urban high school. I went to urban elementary schools. But I went to a suburban high school. My high school was way different. We were in the middle of nowhere. Like, it was different. We had different things accessible to us in high school that wasn't accessible to things in urban high school. So it's like different. It's different.
I kind of went through that too. Because I went to high school in Bordentown. So, but
it's
even
different.
in Bordentown, like when the gang stuff really started in like 05, 06, 07, when the gang stuff got real heavy, there were so many Trenton kids that were just like me getting moved to somewhere else to stay out of that. And then Bordentown became like the wannabe place.
We just
for gangs.
Literally just talked about it.
we were just talking about one of our own.
Because
this guy right here. This guy right here.
To piggyback on that is to say like this, like kids get moved out of the urban setting to be safe. Like their parents are like, look, we want to provide a better living for you. We don't want you to go through those hardships. And then those kids are like, man, fuck my parents. I'm about to just be a hoodlum. Like, I'm about to just do all this hood shit. Because where I come from Franklin. Like, you know, down here, a lot of people probably don't know about it. But I come from Franklin. Franklin is like, they want to be hood. They want to be gangsta. They got gangs out there. Like, you got Parkside. You got the Grove. These are things that y'all wouldn't know down here. Y'all probably look at me and be like, no, your town. If I drove you guys through my town, you'd probably be like, no, absolutely not. Because when I moved down here from where I was thinking that was the hood, and coming down here to like the actual hood, it was like a culture shock for me. Like, I walked outside, the first thing I said, because I moved to the section, I did not know any better. I thought I was doing Hamilton because it was on East State Street.
You're like, no, I'm good.
I lived on the 800 block of East State Street, so I was like, I walked outside, the car next to me had a bullet hole in the windshield. I was like, oh my God. And from that moment forward, I knew like, this is really the hood. I really went from like living in like plush like communities with community pools, community basketball courts, tennis courts, to coming down to a car with a bullet hole in the windshield. So it was really like a difference. Like, I'm telling you, like, my kids even
parts
seen
out
that.
here where they not even concerned with shooting at the cops.
So
So you got a kid willing to shoot at a cop, what you think he gonna do to you?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
he gonna light you up.
I got no business doing it. I ain't got no business around no parts anyway.
I told you, Yatta lives in this bubble. He does not go outside of his bubble.
Because like, and again, and I tell everybody like, I'm in a position now where I know exactly what I'm trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And that's my main focus. So it's just like that type of behavior and stuff like that's some shit that I like. It don't serve me no purpose. It don't do anything.
Wonderful.
It don't do anything for me anymore. You know what I mean? It don't stimulate me mentally. It don't put no money in my pockets. It don't do anything positive for me. So why am I over there?
And you gotta remember, now I commend you for thinking like that. But not a lot of people can think that way because they're conditioned to believe like that's their life. Yeah. That's what their life is gonna be. They don't know anything outside of this. I've talked to people again, like I tell you, I don't discriminate. So I talk to everybody of every walk of life. I've talked to people who have not left this city.
Yeah,
who don't know much more outside of this city and probably Philadelphia. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. They haven't seen outside of here. It's the most probably maybe like the beach. Miami, whatever, like little things. They have not been outside of here, and that's bad because you have to. There's more to life than this, and I feel like if they were exposed to that and know that there's more to life than just this, like you don't always have to come back to this. You can leave and flourish.
Fact,
I feel like it would change the perspective because when you live like you have nothing to live for, you literally live like you have nothing to live for. When you live like like there's opportunity that's going to be presented to you, you know that there's going to be things there. There's much more to life than this. Your outlook on life is way different. So I mean, I hate to say it's just like, but sometimes we see people like never grow out of that. Like I was talking to my barber, and he was talking about like his cousin, like big homie, and it was just like this nigga 40 years old still dripped in all red. Like come on, bro, like you 40, like you know what I mean, like. What's going on with your family? Family trips, like you're not going to take a trip somewhere. Like
that's the crazy thing. That's why I say, my mother on June 29th it'll be 10 years since my mother passed. She passed when I was 18. She was the one that looked at me when I was 12 and said, "Yo, I'm getting you the fuck out of here. I'm not worried about nobody else. If anybody else want to follow us, they can, but you not going to be dealing with what I see around the corner."
Yeah.
Because Winder Ave is like towards the middle of the section.
Yeah.
2 blocks this way, you going up, what's the name of that street? Euclid, and you hitting Walnut. You in the epicenter of everything. So she moved me out of there, and I hated her for that. That first year, I'm like, yo, I don't know nobody out here, man. It's mad white kids out here, man. What's going on, man? Take me back where I'm from.
I feel you.
But now at 27, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you see it as a blessing.
Yeah, I moved around a lot as a kid, so like I've kind of been used to that, like moving a lot. So I've had to become adaptable to situations and people and things like that. So I never was really like, this is like one spot. I was like, all right, I'm here now. Let me just make the best of it, and then I'm on to my next destination.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot. Like I said, I moved from in the hood.
Yeah, I'm Trenton born and raised. You see the Trenton Thunder. It's the opening season April 9th, I believe.
Oh no, don't get it twisted now. This is still a Trenton native right here.
I'm a Trenton.
You know
I'm a transplant. I'm from New Brunswick, so don't get it twisted. I'm from New Brunswick. That's a different area up in Central Jersey for real. But I'm a transplant to Trenton. Like I said, Trenton has grown on me, so don't get it twisted. Like I love being down here. I like everything that it has to offer, and I feel like the city is very rich. And I feel like if the people were more well informed of their city and what they're sitting on, you guys would know that you guys are sitting on a gold mine. Literally, Absolutely. This is the capital. Like you guys can capitalize on it. Houses down here are so cheap, and you guys can just rebuild. If you guys rebuild the historical buildings and build the value back up in the city, get the taxes flowing back in here, this wouldn't be what they try to describe it as welfare capital, because there's more white people on welfare out here than you think. Just because Trenton has a higher percentage of minority people living in the city, which you guys should capitalize on. There's more minorities in the city than there is in any other major city like Newark, all those things like that. This is heavily concentrated in a black and Latino city. So you guys can really capitalize on this. Have more black history events, have more black incorporated events, have more black-owned businesses. This is really where it could thrive, but we got to see it as a city. Yeah, like I said, being here and now like seeing it, like I'm pushing for it, and I'm not from here, and I just came here, and that's the vibe that I got from the city. Like it's like, wow, this could
there's
really
a lot
be
of history out here, bro. I'm still learning,
and I learned about it. Like talking to people from out here, like I love the pride that you guys have. So as me looking from an outsider looking in, like talking to Trenton people has inspired me, like in ways like I've had more opportunities here than I did in the suburbs.
I'll tell you like this, though, and I'm a strong believer in this. I think it's going to take the few that is doing it to influence the many. Because, like, you know, in the perfect world, we want to believe that everybody is going to see, like, the beauty of this community.
But they do.
Hold on. But the fact is, like, majority, like, of what I've seen is just, like, growing up here and being here. It's just, like, some of the guys that I grew up, they still on the same shit. You know what I mean? And it's just, like, and they instilling that into the next generation. And it's just, like, I really think it's going to take, like the few to take those steps and really start doing some rebuilding, like with a ton of people, like, opening up restaurants and, like, with the Trent ice cream parlor and all these coffee shops that's opening up. It's really going to take those few to really get the thing. It's not going to be a collective thing in the beginning. It's going to be something where it's just, like, the people that's really influencing the change of this city is going to be a small collective, and then it's going to branch out. And it's just, like, it's going to be a certain amount of people that's going to be with it, and there's going to be some a certain amount of people that's just not going to change, and they just not going to move with it.
I think part of the reason why people don't want to change is they just don't trust the process. You know, God bless the dead. What Kobe Bryant said right before he died, probably about 6 months before he died, he said, you know, you can't focus on the finish line. You got to trust that process. You got to enjoy that process.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to get to the finish line that you're worried about so much. It's going to end up being a failure.
You're right about that. So, but I think I don't want to make no predictions, but I think we'll live to see it. We'll start seeing. We'll see. We'll look back and we'll be talking to them and we'll be saying, like, yo, you should have seen this city 20, 30, 40 years ago. Like when I was coming.
When I go to, I'm from New Brunswick. Like I said, New Brunswick had a really major cosmetic makeover within the last 20 years. They knocked the last standing projects down within the last 10 years. The city now is a progressive, like, Rutgers is in Big Ten, so they were never going to have their Big Ten school in a city that is in shambles. They were never doing that. Right. Rutgers and Robert Wood Johnson reformed New Brunswick. Like, houses out there that used to cost what the prices of houses out here cost, now cost $100,000. Cheapest 2-bedroom row home, $100,000.
Wow.
The property value out there increased because the people in the city and around the city believed in investing in the city. That city is a very progressive city. That is now the hub city. You couldn't call New Brunswick hub city 20 years ago. Did y'all hear hub city 20 years ago? No, you did not. New Brunswick was just a city, another train stop on the train before you got to Trent.
Yeah.
It was another hood before you got to Trent. You had Newark, Camden, New Brunswick, Trenton. That's it. And then people were like, no, we're going to invest in these cities. Like, now they're really, especially in New Jersey, because now New Jerseyans know what we sit on. Like, a lot of people like to hate New Jersey, but they don't realize that this state is one of the most fruitful states here. If you can make it here in New Jersey, you can make it anywhere, because not only is the cost of living here higher, taxes are high, the cost of living is high, everything is high. So if you can be successful here, you can be successful anywhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So I just think, Trenton is going to be another progressive city. Like, the people are more progressive minded.
It's going to come with a progressive price. I'm telling you that too. You're going to start seeing, like, you talking.
Is coming out of the city now too. Look at everybody. Like, look at all the movements that are slowly coming out because people are putting forth those things, like saying, like, yeah, it's okay to do these things. Like, it's cool to do these things.
But we had opportunities to get it done though.
Yeah.
One of my mentors told me Magic Johnson wanted to come out here years ago when Doug Palmer was the mayor. It didn't work out, but he had plans to bring a lot of stuff out here, right downtown. So,
and I mean, I see Adam Sandler's coming here, and I mean, with them revitalizing the Cure auto insurance, because when it was the Sun Center wasn't really bringing, it wasn't really bringing too many like big name events, and that's one thing I always talk about. I felt like they put the hotel here too early because there was no reason for people to stay. And it was really just, in my opinion, just like a real waste of money. Yeah. Because it's just like,
it wasn't any repairs or anything like that.
It wasn't like a destination city yet. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Thunder, but it's just like, what, you gonna stay here for a week and keep going to baseball games?
Nah.
Like, it needed more, and it still needs more before it has.
They're working on it though.
They're working on it. That's the start.
They're doing attractions. There's different little attractions around the city. Like, if you get really into like the art scene, the social scene. They do have a lot of little events now that they're starting to push more into the city to make it more of a friendly city. Like they're really trying to get their name back from after the Art All Night incident, but they're really trying to like work on pushing it more too.
Yeah, it was
an ugly situation.
But the art scene has been making a slow comeback into that, and so as they do that, they're going to get a lot of flack from the community as well too. Because people are resistant to change, especially if it's not coming from people within the city, because a lot of the time, a lot of the change is coming from outside of the city. But you have to realize that if you have an investor coming into the city that's going to invest money into the city and your dreams, just accept it and let it flow and let it flourish. It's going to be good. It's for the betterment of the city. Like, and a lot of people are hesitant of that because they think like with that it's going to bring like crazy changes to lifestyles and things like that. But it's not.
Nah, I don't think it's going to be that deep.
I mean, we'll see. You'll never know. This might end up looking like New Hope in a couple of years.
It may, because think about it.
Gentrification.
I enjoy looking at. If you look at some of the architecture of the homes,
the architecture,
especially like out west, like West Trenton. Like I want to buy a home out West Trenton. I do. Like that is.
I'm not going to go that far yet. I'm not going to.
I'm not buying to live there. I'm buying a home
out
to
there,
have
boy.
it.
They different.
Yeah,
I'm buying a home to have it.
I'll tell you, the only reason I won't move out there is because I don't want somebody breaking into my house.
But Hiltonia is nice. I lived on the island. Hiltonia is nice.
See now, don't get this twisted. Hiltonia is not West Trenton. Hiltonia is not.
So what is Hiltonia?
Hiltonia is Hiltonia. Hiltonia is not Stuyvesant.
No,
Hiltonia is not Hermitage. Hiltonia is
Stuyvesant. Listen, Stuyvesant is so rough. It need to be its own city. Stuyvesant, New Jersey.
Yeah, so yeah, like you know, that's like safe haven. Hiltonia is like safe haven.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's like a chill spot.
Yeah, and I mean, like again, when you talk about like architecture, just downtown too, like walking from west through west and east.
My grandfather showed me some pictures of how downtown looked in 1963, and I almost cried, bro. Trenton looks so different, bro. We had like 3 movie theaters in the middle of downtown Trenton.
My peoples always say that crack like really hit Trenton hard too. They told me like this was one of the places that, and I remember growing up like when I was young, like they was rampant. They was rampant, like, and like this is like still early 90s, but like
it's deep, man. Yeah, it's deep. I heard a story. Muhammad Ali came out here a couple times after fights and everything, cause his main venue that he used to go to was the Garden in New York. That's next door.
Yeah, facts.
So after a fight, he'd try to find a spot to, get a drink or something like that. He'll end up in Trenton.
And I mean, when you go back to what she said, when you just look at New Jersey as a whole, it's prime because so many like celebrities close by, they move over here to take advantage of like the property and in the price point while still being close to New York. Like we still close to New York.
Like you're smack
still close to Philly,
right next door.
What is that? 3 international. We got Newark, then Philly, and JFK is like less than 2 hours away, like 2 hours and some change, and then Atlantic City. Yeah, the shore is right there. You know what I mean? Like so, it's
crazy. Man.
It's a gold mine. It is a gold mine.
We don't treat it that
y'all
way,
see it for yourselves. New Jersey is really a gold mine, and if I said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. I've seen people leave New Jersey and really like become bigger than what they are because they did. Here, you think, oh, it's so compacted here. Like you feel me? Like there's a lot of people in this little state. You go to bigger states, bigger cities. It's like you can thrive there because New Jersey teaches us how to be adaptable because you go to different parts of New Jersey, you're getting different scenes. You can't go to Camden and think you're going to get a Newark experience. You can't go to Trenton and think you're going to get a New Brunswick experience or Wilkesboro experience. You can't do that. New Jersey is different. Every part you go to is different. You're going to get a different experience in each part. North Jersey, you get a more New York vibe. You get the more, but that's Northeast New Jersey. Northwest New Jersey is like, you're going to get the Klan. You're going to get, woods, the mountains, all those things like that. You come to Central Jersey, you have New Brunswick, you have Trenton, all those things like that. So, yeah.
It's tough, though, because it really depends on the person that sees the celebrity come here.
Yep.
Because you have a lot of people who, like we say in the school setting, it's learned behavior. So if a kid has an uncle or a father that sees a celebrity walk up the street and they're like, man, fuck that nigga. He really ain't from Trenton. He ain't from out here. He ain't putting no work.
I know who you talking about.
You feel me? Like,
oh my God.
I know who you talking about.
So it's like,
what block you from?
Word, like, you ain't been out here since 99.
We ain't see you. Man. I ain't see you in the high.
We ain't see you, man. We ain't even see you.
Oh.
Now, if you got a father like that, the kid is gonna be like, oh, all right, he ain't really like that.
Yeah.
But if you got a kid that actually wants to try to take the time and know that person, like what Samora just did with Big O, bringing the sneakers to the basketball team out here, that was big.
Yeah.
To me, because Samora's been all over the world, and she makes it a point to come back here at least once a year. Sometimes more than that.
And wasn't Nia Long just here for the Doc Long?
Yeah, for the her father's memorial. That's dope.
Him and Doc Long and my dad, they was like real close because my dad was like heavily involved with like the plays and stuff. Like I never really like formally met him, but he came to our house like a couple times.
That's legendary shit, bro. Just to have Nia Long stand on that stage in that auditorium. I don't care who you are. You've seen The Best Man. You've seen Love Jones.
Hell yeah.
You've seen Boys in the Hood. You've seen some stuff that she's been in. That's legendary.
That shit's crazy.
You know what I mean? So it takes a kid to actually know that's legendary. Let me follow in those footsteps. Or you're going to have the kid that got the father that's like, man, fuck that. They ain't even from Trent.
Yeah. Well, I think with this collective that we got on and the people that we surround ourselves with, we're going to be a part of that progression.
Absolutely.
Like I see like, we're going to be like, yeah, we put these kind of pieces in place so y'all could, like, you know what I mean? Like I really see that for like this era and this collective. You know
it's
what I mean?
Gotta be that way.
Because it's different. It's different from like when I talk to most. Yeah, it's different when I talk to most people and like in our demographic and in our age bracket. You know what I mean? It's way
because
different.
We're kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
We're not a millennial. We're 90s babies. We're 80s babies.
No, yeah,
so
we still millennials though, because millennials.
I thought we were Generation X.
No, millennials is 25 to 34 or something, like 34 or something like that. It's that. Gen X is.
I think yeah.
So we.
But when you listen to how they categorize millennial and like how like some of these young kids, the type of stuff they doing, we never did. We were like the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to have an iPod.
Facts.
We was the first ones to get the smartphone. When social media first came out, it was MySpace.
Yeah.
And it was like little group chats.
And I mean, I think just seeing different things play out for us, like, it's not like all we saw was drug dealers. We saw was it like we were exposed to different things too. Everything. that put us, that gave us a different insight that allowed us to keep building on. So it's important. But
our childhoods was just different.
Yeah.
We were exposed to so many different things. We just had
the Black History show at our school. It was a Soul Train thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember telling a couple of the teachers, I'm like, man, Saturday morning used to be lit, bro. You get up, you watch your cartoons from like 10 to 11 or whatever. 12 noon come, you know what's coming on TV.
You're right.
And when Soul Train come on, you not moving. You not moving. And that's what birthed 106 and Park and Rap City and all this. We were guinea pigs. We were the ones watching that stuff. To now, you don't even need that stuff. You got YouTube.
Facts.
Yep.
And I mean, YouTube is a powerful tool if you use it the right way.
We were also introduced to YouTube as well too.
Yeah.
So, but again, man, I want to thank you so much for coming
thank
up here.
For having me, man.
Yeah, we really we really went off the deep end with that one, but I'll fucks with that kind of energy. So definitely. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and please let me know.
We might need a part 2 because we only talked about the books for about a third of the interview, so we might need a part 2.
I know, definitely, but with that, do you have any more any upcoming books that you're working on or releasing?
Next month.
This is what I'm talking about. This man is a hard worker. 2 jobs and an author with 2 daughters.
How to get
3 daughters.
3 daughters.
Yes, sir.
3 daughters.
Yes, sir.
Basically 3 jobs.
Girl dad. Hashtag girl dad. There.
Yes, sir.
Can you leave your social media and Facebook so everybody can follow you and stay up to date with your books?
On Facebook, I have 2 pages, either Elijah Foreman or Author Elijah Foreman. I would say Author Elijah Foreman because Elijah Foreman's at that 5,000 mark.
Gotcha.
So that's like the blue check on Instagram when you get to 5,000 friends. Man, I don't really use Twitter like that. Yeah. But Elijah #4 MAN on Twitter.
Gotcha.
And Instagram at Mr. Foreman 92. And also at Elite Novelist Group. That's my company. So we got to talk about that next time.
Got you. And of course, I'll link your page to the page to your Amazon author page. So if anybody want to check out any of his books, like,
I appreciate it.
Feel free. Like, I'm telling you. And this has been another episode of Yatta Debates. As always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell, because we just gonna keep having more and more content for y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be an amazing year for Yatta Debates and for Elijah Foreman.
2020 brings out good things.
Mamba mentality, y'all. 2020.
Yes, absolutely.
This is Yatta Debates signing out.
Boom. Alright, yo, just exit out, right?
Yeah, exit out, and then stop the record.
Mark Bowman, you guys took the picture.
That was dope.
I gotta stretch my legs.